What's up, YouTube? Here is my monthly basement fire alarm system test. And this month we have Edwards Genesises. So, yeah. Well, anyway, let's introduce the system. So right here we have an EST Edwards 278B. I've used this in a couple of my system tests already. A Silent Night smoke detector. This is probably never going to change because it's my only addressable detector. An EST Edwards Genesis. Another EST Edwards Genesis. This one's a strobe only because there's no horn. It's the horn inside. This one has a horn. I could focus on the silver horn in there. Kind of see it. And this one has no horn. Yeah, and here's my Silent Night IFP50. Over by the stairs we have this Edwards 270 SPO. And this LED Edwards Genesis horn strobe. This was the only other Genesis horn strobe I had, so I had to use this. But, I mean, it's still a Genesis, just a newer model. And it still sounds the same, so it works. So anyways, let's start off with the system. We'll start off with pulling this 278B. 3, 2, 1. As you can see, this strobe isn't making a clicking sound, unlike xenon strobes. This is because LED strobes, well, don't really make the clicking sound, and they work differently, so which is why the strobe is completely silent. Now you might be wondering how I was able to do audible silence. Well, audible silence only works in the system if you're using strobe synchronization. And you also might be wondering, doesn't this panel not have Edwards sync? Well, you're correct. It doesn't have Edwards sync. And you also might be wondering, how am I synchronizing them and doing audible sounds? Well, I'm using system sensor sync, which works very similarly to Edwards sync. And I mean, these strobes do automatically synchronize, but I wanted to be able to do audible silence on these strobes, so I just used system sensor sync on these, and it's able to do audible sounds, which is pretty unique. Unique how these devices are compatible on system sensor sync. Yeah, anyways. Now I'm going to be pulling the Edwards 270 SPO. 3, 2, 1. Here I have this special reset tool, which I use to reset these tool reset pulsations, because you can see the little slot right there is too thin for a flathead screwdriver. So I use this custom made bit to open it. And that's how I reset it. Now let's reset the panel. Now we're going to test the smoke detector. Or silence the panel. Right now I'm outside, and the reason I'm outside is to show how loud these Genesises can carry through walls. So if that works. The reason I fan the detector is because I don't want it to go back into alarm, because if it still detects the smoke, it will go back, set the panel back into alarm. Now I'm gonna conduct a fire drill, so I'll be right back. Okay, fire drill, enter. Oh, before we go, I'm going to do a little experiment. I'm going to see how loud these Genesises are compared to this vintage Edwards Adaptahorn. So, as you can see, I have it hooked up to a surge protector, so when I flip the switch, the Adaptahorn will go off. So, first I'm going to activate the Genesises. Now let's do the Adaptahorn. Oh my. That Adaptahorn definitely outperformed these Genesises. And this isn't even on low volume, this is on high volume. Because in order to change the volume setting, you have to cut a jumper, and I don't want to cut any jumpers on these. So, yep. That Adaptahorn is definitely louder than the Genesises. And, well, that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed these Edwards Genesis fire alarms, and please like, comment, and subscribe, and have a nice day.